My name is Lawrence Omoiti. Welcome to the show. Trip around the pitches of headlines in details. Let the trip begins. All right, we start reach 3 months agreement on LG allocations. Loan or grants. Federal government states row over World Bank 570 billion naira. Wife me back. A lot of you would have seen that viral video. Okay, still staying with the Punch newspapers. Protest, inflation top as Council of State lower stake in Dangote. Still staying with the Punch newspaper. Russian flag. Police move suspect to Abuja. Plan sedition charges. Prophetess teacher arraigned for fake charm, 8 million naira theft. Marketers project 600 naira per litre for Dangote petrol. And from the Punch newspaper, we move on to the Guardian newspapers. Nigeria-bound vessel pay $620 million war risk insurance premium.
Of a new generation, and this is your station, Top Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation, and this is your station, Top Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. Abuja, wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is your station. Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Onto the Nation newspapers now. And Nigeria selling weapons to African countries, says Matawale. El Rufai's ex-advisor Lawal on watch list. Powered transport will lift economy. CBN First Bank. And from the Guardian to the Tribune newspapers, how Nigeria synergy among security operatives, 77,000 commissions, 20 CNG buses. ECOWAS Parliament to ensure transparent use of resources. All right, Daily Trust newspaper says next, Nigeria, that how federal government policies are affecting startup businesses. Flood kills 7 in Jigawa, Kebbi. Yakasai Yadudu caution Tinubu on calls for new constitution. Sean hard drugs, cultism, malpractice. Vice Chancellor advises new students. NAFDAC urged to reduce the cost of certificates for medical devices. 11 headers missing in Anambra. Miyetti Allah raises alarm. How federal government policies are affecting startup businesses. Yes, we saw Sudan crisis mastermind planned to destabilize Nigeria. That's coming from the IGP. Fresh tussle in Edo after Shuaibu resumes office as deputy governor. National Youth Service policy change threatens HND graduates' participation in the scheme. Gas to power initiative priority for Nigeria. $1 billion war risk surcharge on Nigeria-bound vessels. Well, those are the headlines that we can take from across the dailies. We should take a short break now, and when we return, our guest is standing by to give us an insight into the headlines in some of the dailies. Please don't go away. Still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Abuja. Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is your station. Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Need a lift? Feeling low, bored, or confused?
Want your dream to brightly glow?
Here is what to do.
Women's Corner is waiting just for you. Choose, provide solutions, and see you through. Where knowledge.
Oh yeah, oh my people, make una come gather here. Which kind tori una wan hear on top radio? Wetin dey catch fire on top social media? Bring am on day, and the time now 5:10, wey be 10 minutes after 5. Make we talk am as e dey be.
Did you miss out on the news during the week? Not to worry. A retrospect is here to make up for the missed information. Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday. Join me, Esther Musu, on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Sunday at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
Thank you so much for staying tuned, and welcome to the second half of the show. It's Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja. And on this part of the show, we will look at some of the headlines in details. And our guest is already seated to help us do this. His name is Mr. Abdulwaris Shalanke. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to Nigerian citizens who are listening to us at Citizen FM, Abuja.
Great to have you. We really miss you, Mr. Shalanke. It's been a while.
It's the crisis. It's the protest.
Oh, well. All right, Mr. Shalanke is a seasoned journalist, a very senior member of the media community. And as usual, he's going to help us make sense of some of these headlines. Mr. Shalanke, we start with the Punch newspaper. Federal governors reach 3 months agreement on local government allocation. The federal government and state governors may have agreed to a 3 months under the former president, the Nigerian financial regulation and all that. But the long and short of it is that after the Supreme Court judgment is that after the Supreme Court judgment, there have been a lot of agreement for now. And
things like this happen, you should give time to straighten or streamline things. So it is not strange, because you do not just begin to implement things if you have not made adequate do. You must make adequate preparation, do things like that. It's like a tradition before that. The state government is the one that is overseeing the local governments. And so some learning, some training, some orientation have to take place before the local government begin to take full charge of the revenue that is going to be accruing to them. But it is not just about the local government. It is not just about the state. The local government itself has been somehow, virtually all the local governments, their quantum of money is not going to be. What most of the local governments have been doing before is the little that the state government pushed to them is sharing. There are local governments that when you get to the local government headquarters in some, especially in some remote areas, maybe it's always very, very empty.
And dry, deserted.
Deserted. And these are people that money will not be coming into their hands. How do they begin to disburse? How do they begin to use it to implement? So the tragedy in Nigeria is that where the governance should actually be very, very active, the local government is the nearest to the people. And so if they have been irresponsible, it is expected that the fund that will be accruing to them now, would they be responsible with it? So there's no big deal. It's not strange that they should be handling things, but have they been handling it? Are they prepared with it to begin to handle what they should be handling? Primary education is there. Health, the community health centers are there. The roads in the communities that they should take charge. And so the local governments over the years have abdicated their responsibility to the state over time. And because of that abdication, or the state government just see the local government as appendages or departments of the state. So now in them charge, will they be responsible? That is the question that I want to ask. And who holds the local government accountable? Usually we citizens, we criticize the state. Who is monitoring the local governments? Who is holding the local government accountable? Actually, most of the things that we criticize the federal government or the state government for, it should be at the local government headquarters will be taking them to. And so, if this fund, federal, state, and local, will they take charge of their responsibility? Do we have the kind of manpower to be manning the local government offices or the local government secretariats? So, it is not just managing the fund. It is also enhancing the capacity of the local government officials, the local government executives. We want them to be responsible. There's no big deal in it. Is expected that they should be running affairs at the local governments, but the citizens to have.
Mr. Solanke, I'm glad that you brought in that last part where citizens are expected to hold their leaders to account. It's very crucial, especially many of them know they are lawmakers in the state assembly, because actually the state assemblies are supposed to act as oversight to the local government area. So how many citizens in a community know who represent them in that constituency? Because these are the people to reach out to ask questions. How many of them have seen the budget of the local government for the year? How many of them know that, that project, that market that was in the budget in January, up till now, nothing has happened? Or the one that construction has started and it was supposed to be for 6 local government need to ask. The local government office is supposed to be accessible to residents. You can walk in. The councillors are there representing different wards. And so these are people that residents need to be familiar with, so that at the drop of a button, you can ask critical questions. The responsibility of oversight oversight. Very, very critical because, as you said, more monies will now find its way to the local government council. So there is a need for accountability. There is a need for proper judicial use of those monies at the end of the day.
That's true. Actually, who is to really be blamed? It is we, the citizens. You see, because we do not take cognizance of the fact that democracy is a grassroots something. It is not. You do not begin to think of democracy at the presidency or at the state level. Our citizens interested in the politics at the grassroots to be imagined as councillors, as chairmen who have some quality. And so, who are those people contesting for election at the local government level, at the council level? So we want a situation where not just the governor that is important. It is not just the citizens that can stand their feet. What are the retirees, those who retire from businesses, from the local government? So those are the kind of qualities. You now, in some places, you see people with even PhD coming to contest election at the local government level. So we don't want I'm sorry to say this, we don't want riffraff to be running affairs at the local government level.
Well, you don't need to be sorry about it. We don't need riffraffs in any level of politics. We need people who will be responsible.
Exactly.
We need people who will be accommodating, who will be focused, and who know why they are elected into offices.
Exactly.
And just like I share your optimism, because I know that now a lot of people who were not in child retired civils, we have the better for us as a nation. You can join the discussion and 7. That's 0818-22-20205. Or you can call the numbers and we will. Thank you so much, sir, for standing by.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Solanke, let's look at this story still from the Punch newspapers. Protests, inflation top as heads of state are expected to converge on the Council of State meeting. At today's meeting, his first since assuming office 14 months ago, members will discuss certain recent events, the protest, the economy, food, and national security. It comes 18 months after the council last met in February 10, 2023, under former president.
That is the fathers they were before. They are coming to, I would expect that they will come together, not tribe, not region, not religion. They are going to be focused on pushing Nigeria forward, setting the right agenda, bringing that advance that direction. And that focus is, how do we retrieve Nigeria from the abyss that we are over the years that we have been leading ourselves into? How do we, the direction of unity, of progress, address, not the party that they came to power initially. They have gone beyond partisan. They should go beyond partisanship now. They are fathers of the nation. As fathers of the nation, they should see themselves as patriots, as nationalists. And as nationalists, it is preserving.
Solanke, I'm happy that you brought in that slant to the story, because it's very, very important. What you're saying is what ought to. In the past, we've had former presidents who refused to or who declined to attend the meeting of the National Council of State for maybe for some political reasons. And we've had some, after a bitter election, they still don't want to say eye to eye with the serving president and stuff like that. And sometimes when you look at the trajectory of our political evolution, you begin to wonder why this is the case, because they're not knowledge, especially when it comes to political knowledge, how to move the country, what they've seen, their experiences. In fact, that's why a lot of them are encouraged to write their memoirs. And these are veritable documents that a lot of scholars will learn from. It's not easy to sit on that seat, even if it's for 24 hours. What you gain, your insight, your knowledge of how the country works, how the security apparatus work, how politics, and so many things, the economy, and these are knowledge that you can buy. You can't get it in Harvard, even if you spend 100 years. So I agree with you that it's supposed to be an avenue for a serving president to tap from the experiences of those his predecessors.
That's true. That's right.
All right, then Tinubu says CNG powered transport will lift the economy. This has been expected since the beginning of this year. The prospect of compressed natural gas powered vehicles on our roads for government. President Bola Tinubu, in boosting the nation's economy, at Ali Presidential Villa. The buses received in Abuja, produced by indigenous auto manufacturing firm Inosin, were donated by the Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association. Mr. Shalonke.
Well, those are obvious take out of the CNG. But what I'm most interested about is the environment, the cleanliness of the environment. You understand? Do you know the number of rickety vehicles in Nigeria? That what Nigerians soak of environmental purity. We are now looking at the prospects of health, better health for the citizens. A lot of Nigerian citizens are dying because of the pollution or from emission from these vehicles that are on the road. So, beyond the economics, environmental cleanliness and environmental sustainability, because this emission cause a lot of damage to the environment. So it is beyond the economic something. It is about the public health. It is about the environmental sustainability. And so if you factor the economics, the health, and we must be looking at the bigger picture. When you are considering acquiring a vehicle, consideration should always be given to the CNG vehicles.
Yeah, I agree with you. And for me, I think we need to temper our expectations, because it's going to be a very gradual process.
Yeah.
Slow process. It's not going to be like, in the next 1 or 2 years, all our vehicles will be CNG powered. No, it's going to take a while because of the infrastructural challenges we have in the nation.
That's why I said it's a culture.
Yeah, we need to gradual, but it's a step, right step in the right direction that we've started this. And maybe in the next 1 year, we can double this efforts and say, okay, give our target in 5 years, we would have made an appreciable impact. And by the time you look at a long-term plan, say in 20 years, 30 years, we will have gotten rid of vehicles that are not necessary for a lot of people. And a lot of our young ones are also going to maximize the potential of this and dive into the industry and make a lot of people have been asking this question: when will
it means TV? Yeah. And that is the of our economy, diversity of energy resources, diversity of use of our resources.
All right, the phone lines are still open. I can see some people. You don't need to flash. You can just call us 0903 22 29797. You can also call us on 0818 22 22205 or 0818 2222 206. If you don't want to miss your message, just let us know where you are writing in from. Mr. Abdullah is still staying with the Nation newspaper. Nigeria selling weapons to African countries. Matawale. Many African nations are turning to Nigeria to produce high-tech military hardware. Minister of State for Defense Bello Matawale show the seriousness of the Ministry of Defense and the new DICON management under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Matawale added that the patronage by African countries was capable of boosting foreign exchange earnings by the country, creating jobs for skilled Nigerians and reducing capital flight.
Nigeria, there's virtually no of weapons, and that is talking about economic sustainability. Beyond the more interested, we That is what the Western countries are doing for us. It is for the security of our region. If the other African countries can trust Nigeria to accept the weapons we supply, then our dependence on the West, or our dependence on Europe and America or any other region of the world. So it is not just an advantage for Nigeria. It is for Africa as a whole. So with that one, we can say that Nigeria is actually stepping up. Releasing it not be compromised. So I see shares of Nigeria in producing weapons and selling to other African nations.
All right, Mr. Sholanke, let's move. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa has expressed delight at the high level of synergy among members of the armed forces of Nigeria amid the numerous operational successes being recorded against terrorists, insurgents, kidnappers, and other criminal elements in the country. This was contained in a statement made available to defense correspondents in Abuja by the Director of Public Relations and Information of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gabweb. According to the statement, the CDS made the remark while being briefed at the Strategic Operations Center headquarters officers.
You see, again, it is about complementary to one another. Understand? It is not a show of they should not be showing that I'm superior. This is my. It is complement as complements of one another. That is when we can achieve better results. That it's not in the police because what happens internally will ultimately translate to what happens externally. If the security internally is not superb, it is going to create room for external forces, and so it's going to increase the quantum of work that the military will be doing. So it is expected that synergy is the way to go. It is the basic. It's the most basic something among the military men. No sharing information, sharing expertise, sharing intelligence among themselves, and give or take, who wins?
Nigeria.
It is not the army or the navy or the air force or the police or the NSDSC. It is Nigeria that wins. So if the nation is secure, the people are at peace, the economy can thrive. There will be joys that will see to complement with.
Surprised because I remember that directive that there has to be a seamless relationship amongst the different services so as to enhance efficiency and capacity, because when you work at cross purposes, you defeat the purpose of the whole in the past that should not be working. And the Chief of Defense Staff has in terms of briefings, in terms of strategic meetings, in terms of so many other things. And so we wish officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces well, because it's with their lives.
Yeah.
And many of them are disabled for life.
Yeah.
And so many things happen to them while we sleep in the comfort of our homes and hide behind our keyboards and make criticism, sometimes very unfounded, against these gallant officers and men who have decided to make sure that the territorial integrity of this country is not compromised. So once again, we say kudos to all officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces, and including their wives, make a lot of sacrifice
The fatherland.
in the country.
And they have seen the futility of experimenting. Nigeria is in this. Nigeria is in this state. Learned the lesson that they must stabilize them. If the democracy must survive in Nigeria, if there are going to be orderly about tendency for people to insinuate that they want to, the Nigerian military, I can say they are committed. They are patriotic, and it is in this sense of oneness, sense of unity that
the Tribune News, Kalu, the chairman, Benjamin Kalu, disclosed that the legislative arm of the regional body will intensify its oversight function on the executive arm to ensure that the finances are judiciously and transparently used for the people. Kalu made the disclosure while delivering his introductory speech as the co-chair at the meeting of Joint Committee on Administration, Finance and Budgets Committee of the ECOWAS Parliament. Essentially, the objective of the Joint Committee meeting is to enable representatives to understand the ECOWAS Parliament's role in the committee budget formulation and monitoring. Kalu is also the Deputy Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives. Mr. Sholanke.
He's a very brilliant man, I must confess. Kalu is a very brilliant man. Beyond what he has said, John, that is part of the governance structure that must be in place. Finance is critical. And so, countries of the sub-region must unite. There was a time we were discussing about common currency. We knew what the ECOWAS did during the civil wars in some of the West African countries. Understand? So, the spirit of unity that must pervade ECOWAS will give opportunity. You will not begin to see yourself as just as in Nigeria. Yes, you are a Nigerian. Yes, you are a Ghanaian. Yes, you are an Ivorian. The point is, the unity of man is very, very vital. And until we begin to relate at such level, to plan together, it's about the sub-region to the other. You see yourself at home when you are in Ghana, Cotonou. If there's good governance in Cote d'Ivoire, it
needs to flow across the sub-region, and which led to the pullout of I think 3 countries: Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, and everything boils down to the issue of governance and everything. So the sub-region, our founding fathers, the founders of ECOWAS, had this thought that you just spoke about now, and that was why they came together in 1973 or thereabout to say, look, as a subcontinent, we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But sadly, over the years, those thoughts, those objectives, we cannot say, as we say in Nigeria, we cannot beat our chest, our full chest, to say we have really, really.
And even in Asia, what East Asian nations, so amazing. For instance, Brunei Darussalam and Singapore, there's currency parity. That the currency you use in Singapore, is acceptable in Brunei Darussalam. Cooperation, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Philippines, just ECOWAS, but the entire African region. And so that we should be creating partnership, collaborations, joint efforts to ensure that anywhere we are in the continent or in the sub-region, we are at home.
All right, Mr. Songa, before we go, let's look at this story. It's in the education sector. NANS urges President Tinubu to raise NYSC allowance to 77,000 naira. Okunomo has made a passionate appeal to President Bola Tinubu to increase the monthly allowance of the National Youth Service Corps members to 77,000 naira. He argued that it was sent to President Tinubu and signed.
It's an appeal in public life. That's you, because even from home, they wish that the president listen to the NANS. Jack up the Alawi, we call it Alawi nowadays. Jack up the Alawis so that they can begin to live responsibly from the time they finish school. But it is not just paying the allowances now. What's after service? What are the opportunities? What are the privileges? What are they open to live? There's no point NYC
after 12 months. You go back to
understand.
To sit at home.
Where do they go? It's the critical thing is job for the young graduates almost immediately after graduation, or after completing their service.
I agree with you, Mr. Sholanke, but I think our young boys and girls, especially those who are in the university now, should begin to think about how to live life outside paid employment. These are things that you can use the NYC months to cultivate. After your 12 years of service, what can you do together and see what you can do? I know it's difficult, but at least it's better than staying at home. And that's one. Then two, I also think that the history of NYC after the Civil War, it was a way of
national integrating,
and it was such a laudable policy. Yeah. Over the years, you find people who, if not for NYSC years, they would not know that there are certain...
For instance, I'm from Ogun State, second home to me. You say, you cannot appreciate Nigeria until you travel around the country.
Exactly.
When opportunity avails. But this is one of them. Then the research, understand? So, we can now go back to what you are doing. There must be entrepreneurship content of it.
Exactly.
So that you do not, if you study medicine, what kind of practice you can, our education should be geared towards producing entrepreneurs, no matter the discipline you study. Because year in, year out, graduates are being produced. To the service that are agitating to get job. It's not the same
job.
So it's a crisis for us in this country that we are producing graduates, we are producing manpower that cannot be absorbed. So what kind of manpower management or development, manpower planning, development and management, they have something to be doing. Our education should prepare them to be independent.
Exactly, Mr. Solanke, thank you so much. We have the package on the show today. Tomorrow, let's make it a date. Same time, same station. My name is Lawrence Moiti. Enjoy the rest of your day.